it's me, Elle, and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be all about what you should never buy for your birds. Before we get into this video is sponsored by Squarespace. Squarespace is the all-in-one platform to build a beautiful online presence. Alright, so there are actually so many products marketed towards birds in pet stores everywhere that are actually terrible for your bird's health. Pet stores will recommend you these products because they don't know any better and they just want to make money. Which is why you should never listen to pet store employees when buying products for your birds. Alright, first one, not going to get in too much. Small cages, round cages, tabletop cages. If you guys watch my videos, you know that a proper cage for a smaller bird should look like the ones behind me. They're all over Petco and PetSmart and any other chain pet store. Moral of the story, don't listen to pet store employees. Okay, next one is something that a lot of people know about if you're in the bird community, and I've talked about quite a bit, but unfortunately some people still keep these in their birds' cages, and that is happy huts. Happy huts are like little fluffy beds or tents that some people hang in their birds' cages because apparently they think the bird needs them to sleep. That is not true at all. Birds sleep just fine on perches. That's what they do in the wild. And there are some species that are burrowing species, but those fuzzy happy huts are not suitable for any bird. Okay, so why are happy huts so bad for your bird? They're huts and they make your bird happy. We're all happy. No, not happy huts. Death dens. If you just go into the Amazon reviews of that thing, you'll find so many horror stories of birds getting killed from those huts. There are multiple problems with them. Number one, a lot of birds chew on that fuzzy material, and that fuzzy material is terrible for your bird if they swallow it. If your bird swallows those fibers, it is going to get caught in their crop and it's going to build up. It is not going to pass through and it is eventually going to cause an impaction, and that can be very, very dangerous for your bird. A lot of birds have died from this, and if your bird does get the fibers in their crop, the only way to remove them is through surgery. But that's actually not the only thing that could happen. Another common occurrence is where a loose thread from that hut gets caught around your bird. It could get caught on their foot, around their leg, on their wing, or even around their neck and strangle them to death. If your bird gets caught in that hut and you're away at work or school, your bird is going to be there until you can get home and cut the thread, and then it's usually too late. Even if you're lucky and your bird never chews on their hut, those huts still make birds extremely hormonal. That dark fuzzy corner resembles a nest perfectly, and birds can get really, really hormonal from that. If your bird's hormones get triggered, they can become really aggressive towards you or other members of your family. And if you have a female bird, they can start laying eggs, which can cause a lot of health problems. Oh, but my bird loves their hut. They sleep in it every night. I could never take it out. Your bird is nesting in there. You don't want that. So guys, please, if you have a happy hut, take it out of your cage. Just take it out. I know it might be difficult because your bird seems to really love that hut. If your bird really needs somewhere like that to sleep, please order a seagrass hut, not a fuzzy fabric one, because a seagrass hut is made of natural materials and it's not going to cause an impaction. This also goes for anything else fuzzy that you put in your bird's cage that your bird is supposed to like snuggle up to, or enclosed tents or anything like that. Anything fuzzy and fabric, take it out of your bird's cage. For example, there's cozy corners, those tents where it's on top of a perch. Anything dark, warm, and enclosed is also going to make your bird hormonal. Alright guys, it is time for an ad break. You guys know my website, elleandthebirds.com. My website is hosted by Squarespace, a powerful website and e-commerce design and hosting platform. I'm so grateful to Squarespace for sponsoring my videos and hosting my website. Squarespace empowers people to create their online web presence and launch their business or passion project. This right here is my website homepage. Squarespace provides seamless integration of all of my social media. From my homepage, you can go to my YouTube channel, Instagram, TikTok, my Amazon store, Teespring store, my new Walmart collection, and of course, my Elle's Avian Essentials store. In my store, you will find my Elle's Avian Essentials kits with descriptions and photos. When you're ready to purchase, simply place a kit in your shopping cart and follow the easy checkout process. Squarespace makes it amazingly easy to set up an online store, with the checkout process taken care of by their powerful e-commerce capabilities. I'm so grateful to everyone who purchased my kits so far and visited my website. I just started a new feature on my website, which is a birdcage gallery with photos of my customers' cages outfitted with my kits. Squarespace has an email campaign feature which made it super easy for me to send emails to my customers to ask them to submit their cage photos, and Squarespace's gallery feature made it super easy to set up my photo gallery. To build a beautiful website of your own, head to squarespace.com for a free trial. When you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/elleandthebirds to save 10% off your first purchase and use my discount code elleandthebirds. All right, the next thing you should never have in your bird's cage are mirrors or toys with mirrors on them. You might think it's harmless when your bird chirps to their mirror. It might look cute, but it's actually very psychologically damaging to birds. While birds are very smart, they can't tell the difference between their reflection and another bird. So a bird is going to look in the mirror and think that there's another bird there. And that can cause your bird to become very, very frustrated, aggressive, and hormonal. You're basically tricking your bird into thinking there's another bird there. The bird is going to think it's their mate, and they're going to get very frustrated when that mate can't mate with them. And the mate can't do things with them. It's not a real bird, so it's gonna cause a lot of frustration. Your bird can also become obsessed with the mirror. They can become so obsessed that they won't leave the mirror and will just refuse to come out of the cage. Your bird can become extremely aggressive every time you put your hand in their cage because they think it's a threat to that other bird, their mate, which is just the reflection. So yeah, overall mirrors just cause a lot of problems. They are not good because you don't wanna trick your bird into thinking there is something there that is not. So please, please, if you have them in your bird's cage, take them out. Even if your bird seems to really love the mirror, that's not good. You don't want your bird to be obsessed with their reflection. If your bird is that lonely and desperate, then maybe consider getting your bird a friend. All right, so the next thing that you never want to buy for your birds are cotton rope toys, specifically the ones that are frayed and marketed as preening toys. You might think your bird will enjoy chewing and preening these threads, but they're terrible for your bird in the same way happy huts are, because if your bird swallows those fibers, which they often do, it can cause a blockage in their system. Anything with loose, fuzzy threads is a threat to your bird because not only can they get impactions from swallowing those fibers, they can also get tangled up in them. The fibers can wrap around a part of their body and strangle them. If you're gonna use anything cotton rope in your bird's cage, it has to be those tightly wound rope perches, and you have to be sure that your bird has no interest in chewing them. I'm really lucky that none of my birds chew their rope perches. If you're wondering whether or not your bird chews on them and you're not there to supervise your bird all the time, if you see any fraying areas, if you see loose threads, that means your bird is picking apart those ropes and it is time to replace that perch. And definitely, if you notice that, do not keep any more rope perches in your bird's cage. Here is an example of a cotton rope swing that has frayed bits. If you want to still use this for your bird, you're gonna need to cut these off. Otherwise, you can hang it outside your bird's cage and you're there to supervise them so you can make sure your bird isn't chewing on them, and if your bird does get tangled, you can immediately untangle them. You know, perches and swings are one thing if your bird has no interest in chewing them, but cotton rope toys, if you have any of those are marketed for your bird to chew on. Like, they're basically asking for your bird to chew on them, so never ever use those. There are so many other natural shredding toys that you can use for your bird. I do have to mention that there is a safe rope for birds called sisal rope. Sisal rope is made of organic fibers and will not cause an impaction if your bird swallows them. They will simply dissolve. So if your bird does chew on their rope perches and you still want some rope perches in your cage, you can use the sisal rope, and you can even use sisal rope toys. The next thing that you should never buy for your birds are sand perches and sandpaper perch covers. Sand perches are everywhere. They are in every pet store, and they are marketed to help keep your bird's nails trimmed. They don't work, and they're actually very, very irritating to the bottom of your bird's feet. Just imagine having to walk on sandpaper all the time. This also goes for rough concrete perches, anything abrasive. It can cause scratches on the bottom of your bird's feet. It can cause sores. Those can get infected, and it's just not a good situation. If you do want a perch to help keep your bird's nails trimmed, number one, it is definitely not going to substitute actual nail trimming. Your bird's nails are still gonna grow, but if you do want one of those, I recommend one that has a smooth top and the abrasive part on the sides. With those perches, the actual pad of your bird's feet is not gonna come in contact with the abrasive part. Even with those, I would still advise putting them near somewhere like a water dish, so your bird is not gonna be standing on them all the time. Your bird's main perches should still be natural wood. Petco and PetSmart sell these sandpaper perch covers that you're supposed to put over the dowels. Those are just as bad. Sand perches, just not good. Now the next thing that you should never buy for your parrot is grit. Grit is small rocks and shells that are sold for birds like finches, canaries, and doves that use these rocks and shells to help grind their food in their digestive system. However, parrots are not one of these birds. A lot of times the package won't state that grit is not safe for parrots. If a parrot is fed grit, it basically just builds up inside them. It collects and it does not pass through them, and that can cause a blockage or an impaction very, very easily. So please, please never feed any type of parrot grit. Parrots in the wild do not eat rocks to help digest their food like some other birds do. They have no reason for grit. It is just purely dangerous for them. Another thing to never buy for your birds is artificial treats from the pet store. For example, those honey sticks. They're everywhere. They're in every pet store. They're like those blocks of seed stuck together by honey, and they have so much added sugar. They have so much added flavoring, added sugar. It is just pure junk. Regular seeds work just fine for your bird. Your bird does not need to be eating all that sugar. Another thing I've seen pet stores sell is flavored millet. There is no reason for that. Regular millet works just as well. Birds love regular millet. They don't need flavored, artificial, sugary millet. Also, those yogurt dipped treats. I've seen yogurt dipped papayas at PetSmart. Those are really, really bad for birds. Birds can't have anything with milk in it. They're lactose intolerant. Please just stick to regular treats like sunflower seeds, safflower seeds, regular millet, just any seed mix, natural seed mix. You don't need to give your bird any of that junk.
Nope.
Nuts will also work well as a treat. Some birds like dried fruit as long as it doesn't have anything added to it. There's so many other treats you could be giving your bird other than all that pet store junk. The next thing you definitely don't want to buy for your birds is those pet store mite protectors. I have no idea why they sell those. They have no purpose. They don't actually work to keep mites away, and it's literally a toxic substance. You're hanging a toxic poison to keep mites out near your bird's cage. If you do suspect your bird has mites, please go to an avian vet to get actual proper treatment. Those pet store things, they're both dangerous and unnecessary. The next thing that you don't want to buy for your bird is bird shampoo or any type of bird bath spray that you'll find at a pet store. Again, all of these products are found in chain pet stores. There are so many awful things in chain pet stores. Birds don't need shampoo to clean their feathers, nor do they need any other type of special spray. Regular water works perfectly fine. Foreign chemicals on your bird's feathers can make them start to pluck, and these things also can irritate your bird's skin. Not to mention, if it gets anywhere near their eyes, that can be really irritating. And when your bird will preen, they can actually ingest whatever is in that bird bath spray or bird shampoo, which will not be good. These kind of products will strip the natural oils off your bird's skin and feathers. It will dry their skin out. I promise you, you don't need chemicals to bathe your bird. Water works perfectly fine. All right, so the last thing on this list of products to never buy for your bird is pet store vitamin supplements, especially the vitamin supplements that you put in your bird's water. A healthy bird on a proper diet will not need any kind of added vitamin supplements because the pellets already have those. The only time you should be giving your bird vitamin supplements is if your vet prescribes them. It is in fact possible for your bird to overdose on vitamins. Not to mention, vitamin drops in the water are an invitation for bacteria. Usually those vitamin drops have added sugar or flavoring to make it taste good. Bacteria love those. They will feed on the vitamins as well as the flavoring and grow in your bird's water dish. Only give your bird vitamin supplements if your vet prescribes them, and don't go buying random vitamins from the pet store because they market it to you. Alright guys, so that is pretty much it for the list of things to never buy for your birds. Some honorable mentions, which are usually things that aren't bought but come with the cage, are plastic food bowls and dowel perches. If you watch my videos, you already know why not to use those. If you have any of those products, please don't use them. But don't feel bad if you have, because everyone makes mistakes and everyone starts somewhere, and it's good that you're learning now. So that is going to be it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, follow me on Instagram and TikTok, and check out my website, elleandthebirds.com, with my Elle's Avian Essentials kits. And I will see you guys in my next video.